Yes, sir.
We'll start.
Okay. So we are starting. So, Pinky, can you hear me?
Yes, Dada.
Okay, please start.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to this special online webinar session on environmental protection and waste management. Today, we gather here, organized by Highland Edutech Institute in Karnataka and Friends of Environment in West Bengal, India, to remember and celebrate World Environment Day 2023. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants, environmental enthusiasts, experts, and esteemed guests who have taken the time to join us from various corners of the world. Your presence here today is a testament to your commitment and dedication towards safeguarding our planet. World Environment Day is a day of global significance, a day when we come together to reflect upon the state of our environment and take decisive action to protect it. This year, the theme for World Environment Day is Beat Plastic Pollution. It is a call to heal and restore our damaged ecosystems, to revitalize the beauty and resilience of our planet, and to build a sustainable future for all. Our webinar today focuses on two critical aspects: environmental protection and waste management. Both these topics are interconnected and play a vital role in preserving the delicate balance of our ecosystems. As we look into these subjects, we will explore innovative solutions, best practices, and actionable steps that we can all take to make a positive impact. During our webinar today, we have the privilege of hosting eminent speakers and experts in the field of environmental conservation. They will share their knowledge, experiences, and insights on various aspects of environmental protection and waste management. I encourage all of you to actively participate, ask questions, and engage in meaningful discussions throughout the sessions. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Highland Edutech Institute and Friends of Environment for organizing this webinar and providing a platform for us to come together and discuss these crucial issues. Your commitment to environmental conservation is commendable, and we appreciate your efforts to raise awareness and drive positive change. It is now my distinct honor to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's webinar, Mr. Apurba Koley, for welcome address. Mr. Koley is the founder and secretary of Friends of Environment, an organization dedicated to environmental conservation and sustainability in West Bengal, India. Sir, the session is over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pinky. And good evening, everyone. And on the behalf of Highland Edutech Institute, Bijapur, Karnataka, and the Friends of Environment, West Bengal, India, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this one-day national online workshop on environment protection and waste management. We are delighted to have you all join us today's as we come together to discuss and explore a crucial topic related to environmental preservation and waste management. First and foremost, I would like to wish each and every one a very happy World Environment Day 2023. This day serves as a reminder of our collective responsibility to safeguard our environment and promote sustainable practices. It is a pleasure to have this conference coincide with such an important day, as it is further emphasize the significance of our discussion and the need for effective environmental protection measures. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed resource person who have graciously agreed to share their expertise and insight with us today. They have taken out time from their busy schedule to be a part of this event, and we are truly honored to have them here. Their contribution will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and enable us to develop effective strategies for environmental preservation as well as waste management. So time is of the essence, and I am aware that you are all are eager to hear from our resource person. So without further delay, let us begin this enlightening journey towards a greener and more sustainable future. May this workshop serves as a catalyst for change and inspiring innovations, ideas that will pave the way for a cleaner and healthier planet. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to each of everyone join here. Let make the most of this opportunity to learn, share, and create a positive impact on our environment. Thank you, and let's conference comments. So thank you once again. So Pinky, the session is over to you.
Yes, Dada. I am delighted to introduce our distinguished resource person for today's webinar, Dr. A.H. Manjunatha Reddy. Dr. Reddy is an associate professor in the Department of Biotechnology at RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. Today, Dr. Reddy will be addressing us on the topic of environmental protection. His insights and expertise in this field will provide us with valuable perspectives and actionable steps that we can take to make a positive impact on our environment. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Dr. A.H. Manjunatha Reddy, Associate Professor in the Department of Biotechnology, RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir, for a brief introduction and the concern towards the environment. Actually, it's not just to say or to just to attend the environmental issues or to attend the conferences like this. It is really a concern towards the environment. That's why we, at this point of time in a day, we took out some time and we are ready to discuss certain things. Let me not just give some of the information to you and that's the close of the chapter. No, let's not do like that. And first of all, happy World Environmental Day for everybody. It's a belated wishes for you because yesterday many of us have celebrated, have planted certain saplings, and we made certain awareness towards the environment and all that. It is a crucial thing. The crucial thing have not started just today. It has started since some decades. Before 1970, 75, 76, there was environment. People started talking about the environment because there are certain damages caused to the environment. There are things which are unlimited, uncontrollable kind of the damages that are caused to the environment. Before that also there was environment. Nobody was worried because the population was not that much, or maybe some of the natural aspects, that natural cleansing mechanisms, naturally available kind of the resources are more, and all such factors have made the environment clean and safe. Once we go beyond the threshold levels, then only the worry will start. Then once the effects, the impacts, the problems are more, then only the concerns, our relations, relativity, designing some of the aspects, all those factors will come into picture. So like that, everybody knows about the environment. Everybody will talk about the environment. Everybody will have some of the awareness about the environment. Now, in the schools also, people are teaching about the environment to the kids, so that at that age itself, the people, the students, the kids, children will have some of the knowledge, awareness about the environment. All these kind of the circus is mainly for the sake of conserving the environment, conserving or protecting the environment. Environment can be protected in many ways. Environment can be protected, for example, if you can take the air quality maintenance, air quality preparedness, air quality monitoring, those factors will be there. Water, there is a different strategy. Forest, there is a different strategy. Biodiversity, there is a different strategy. Life on the earth, different strategy. Life below the water, there is a different strategy, like that. And environment, there is no revenue boundary for the environment. Environment is everywhere. Environment is meant for everything on every being on the earth. It's not only for the human being. Probably human being is the only dust in the environment, in the world, so that the damage to the environment has been started through the human being. And because we have created the damage,
Sir,
we have to
excuse me, sir.
clean it, we have to manage it, we have to protect it. Once the
Excuse me, sir.
problem, once the problem, yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
sir, I think camera is off.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll start the camera.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Manjunath Reddy, as one of the guests have introduced me to. I'm working in RV Engineering College in Bangalore as an associate professor since 17 years. I did my PhD from environmental science background. MSc is also from environmental science background. And Sirajuddin was my student as well as and one of my good friend. We discussed so many things on the environment as well. Okay. Apart from that, when we will talk about the environmental aspects and all, there are various strategies have been derived. There are conference of parties have been made. At least 21 COPs have been made so far to derive various strategies to protect the environment at macro as well as micro levels. Because it's not just necessary to control one of the factor and that's done. My duty is done. It's not like that. As I told you, environment doesn't have any revenue boundaries. It doesn't think like this is my village, this is my state, and this is my country, and that pollution will be here only. No, not like that. There's no revenue boundaries for that. So it may extend to anywhere. We all know about the butterfly effect. So once such kind of the activities will happen, the entire world will be in a disastrous state. If it is uncontrollable kind of the situation. Hope it's not that, and that's why we are maybe the set of people who are all thinking towards the environment are together now, or maybe in future also discuss, derive some strategies and make it into a real one, make it into the actionable one, make it into the workable kind of the factors, so such that real environment, the environmental problems can be solved and it can be monitored. Environmental protection, as we all know that there are various laws for air quality or water quality, water sustainability, and recently there are 17 SDGs have been derived. The Sustainable Developmental Goals have been given by the UNEP. They are talking about so many things which will consider most of the things which are meant for the good life, good lively life to be led by the human beings. It may be zero hunger, it may be gender equalities. So many SDGs, 17 SDGs have been derived for that, 16+1 kind of thing. But many of the scientists across the globe are deriving strategies, are maintaining certain protocols, are coming to giving some of the technologies to the world to maintain the environment. But what is happening over here is the investment, the return of investment is not there. If any industry is there, industry will think of the the profits. The profits are, if you put the money on the environment, cleaning of the environment, STPs, ETPs, and all that, probably he just have to bear the cost. He will not get any benefit out of it. That is the problem. So far, that is the problem. If we can derive certain aspects from the waste, if he can generate certain beneficiary aspects from the waste, he can generate certain goods or recover the products or recover certain valuable things. So it will be of more help for him. So it should be in such a way that he should invest and get the money back. Then only probably the things will come into rule. And because of that, and people will, if you and me will say that you follow the rule, and if you emit more smoke and all that, people will not listen. That's why there are laws have come, LAWS, because of LOSS. So the LAWS is going to talk about they are going to be implemented strictly, and there are certain fines and all that matters will be there. Okay, so all these factors are mandatorily they won't have to follow. But as I said, if the person who is running an industry, if he'll get certain products recovery, or a kind of reducing some of the pollutants, or reducing some of the wastages, if we can say. So such kind of the factors are going to help the industry instead of paying and not getting the money, and that's why he's not interested to clean any of the environmental aspects. That's the problem. Okay, like that, there are various aspects have been derived by the IUCN, UNEP, WHO, maybe Central Pollution Control Board, State Pollution Control Boards, and all that. One such thing is nature-based solutions. Many of you might have heard about the nature-based solutions. The nature-based solution is one simple example I have told now. It is like some X quantity of the waste has been generated by one of the industry, and that X amount has to be reduced. Okay, it may be small X, or half of the X, or 1/4 of that X material have to be released to the environment. That is the first phase. Okay, the second phase is the product recovery. How much is possible to recover the product from the waste? Maybe it may not be directly used by the industry though, but it can be recovered. The product should not go waste. Okay, so once the wastes are dumped, once the wastes are developed, once the wastes are produced in a large quantity, which is beyond the threshold levels or asymptotic levels, then only the problems we are going to face. It's not only for one country, it is for the entire world. Okay, so such kind of the things I wanted to share that kind of the information today, how best the nature-based solutions can work effectively to conserve the environment. Okay. Okay, now I'd like to share the slide. Siraj, can you allow me to share the PPT?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please. I have very few slides. I expect certain questions and or maybe some kind of the discussion, healthy discussion, such that the brainstorming will get more ideas and more strategies at a local level. So we can think global and act local is a very common kind of the statement, but in reality also, as we all have the concern towards the environment, we can have a very good strategies that can be derived, where we can have very good brainstorming session like by discussing each other, and we are all thinking about the environment. That's why we have connected now at this point of time, right? Hope I can share I have very few slides. I have very few slides. let me talk about those things. They are very simple slides. Anybody can understand. This is the first slide, as you all know, my name and my designation and such stuff. My second slide is talking about environmental protection components, societal and nature-based solutions. Okay. The components may be anything, any component that's living, biotic or not abiotic, biotic or abiotic component on the surface or below the water or in the aerial system that is present, that are present. So they are the components. Either you can take air, water, soil, humidity, moisture, rainfall, wind velocity, temperature, the animals of different types, plants of different types. Okay, maybe trees have some shrubs. There are so many, you all know about the diversified kind of the factors, and we all know about how the temperature variations across the globe and all that. The four environmental factors like humidity, wind velocity, wind direction, temperature, and the precipitation. These are all the very critical kind of the components that are very important in the environment, on the globe, to maintain the equality or to maintain the seasonality of the environment. Once they are getting affected, then the problems will be of more. The problems are more just because of any variation in these kind of the components. We mainly give attention towards the societal thing, because the societal things, we are directly relate that to our lifestyles. Our lifestyles may directly or indirectly disrupt in the environment. Environment is not just a simple component. I told you some 15 to 20 types of the environmental components. Okay, so they are the at macro level. I have mentioned those components. At micro levels, there are many, like lakhs, thousands of components that we can observe. Okay, we have the problem. We have already facing the problem. We are already in a soup. We are already facing hundreds of problems across the globe. Okay, so that's why many strategies have been derived. One such is the nature-based solutions. Okay, probably many of you might have heard about the nature-based solutions. It is talking about how the cleansing mechanism of the environment can take place. How the cleansing mechanism by on its own, the cleaning can take place. They are the actions to protect, sustainably manage and restore the natural and modified ecosystems in the ways that address the societal challenges effectively and adaptively. That's very important. Many people will talk, many people will report, the reports will die on the shelves. That should not happen. It should be actionable. It should be functionable. It should function, and there must be certain results that should be derived from derived because of the reports. And to provide both human well-being and biodiversity benefits, we mainly talk about the human surroundings only. Okay, because human have created this, and human only have to repair this. And human well-being is most concerned than any other, because that's how the things are happening now. But that should not be. That is also one of the nature-based solution. It involves so many factors like protection, issue specific. As I told you in the beginning, and it's a very common slogan, people in the environment, they will talk. It's about think global, act local. Think global, act local. So the impacts may be to the outer world also, but the action must be at the local level that may contribute to the protection of the environment in the later part. Infrastructure, that's very important. Without the infrastructure, one cannot do anything. It may be for the protection of the environment, it may be for the sustainability, it may be for any other reason. The infrastructure, that is very much important. Infrastructure is not just the buildings. It may be the requirements, the equipments, or the necessary materials maybe consumables, recurring or non-recurring, like that, the infrastructures will be there. Management, this is the most important, and sometimes it is not visible, but it is the most important kind of the factor. Management is something like reduction of the waste is one thing, guiding force is another thing. So controlling factors another, like that. There are various factors are there in the management. To maintain the environment, now need to study only any MBA or anything of that sort, but at local level, at the immediate levels, one can manage the environment and environmental factors. Restoration, once we spoil the environment, we must think about how to restore the factors, how to restore the ecological components, how to restore the environmental factors such that the next prodigy, the next generation people should feel or have the good environment. Not only that, the other, for the next next generation, it is for the sustenance of every living organism. And mainly we think about the human being, but not only the human being. There are various innumerable number of the organisms that are present in the on the earth, and all that biodiversity should be sustained in a proper way, such that the like that the environment protection should take place. The ecosystem based approaches are certain things are mentioned over here. Societal challenges are like this. Okay, there may be various kind of the industries, residential areas, plants, forests, environment. People will go for the excursions to see the forests. They'll go to the forest to they feel that there will be a good oxygen or good kind of the environment that is there. Probably you might have heard about 3 is to 30 is to 300. So when we follow the 3 is to 30 is to 300 kind of the formula, everybody will have the fresh air in their nook and corner of the cities or the residential areas. Okay, so like that, where there are various societal challenges are there, where the drainages will be connected, the households will be there, there are certain parks, like that the things will be there. Like ecosystem, every time, everywhere, so the ecosystem plays an important role. You all know that environment is a broader prospects, and ecosystem which is present within the environment. So we are talking about the human well-being. Biodiversity benefits. Okay, human well-being is the most concern. That is one thing. Biodiversity benefits are also very important. As I told you in the beginning, not just the human being that is present on the earth. There are various innumerable number of the organisms that are present on the earth, and everything should be connected, and everything should be should have a meaning of sustaining in the environment. How to balance this? One can follow certain strategies. This is again one more type of the strategy. Balance, it is like societal challenges are there. So for the societal challenges, how best one can design at scales. Design at scale for what? Is it a big industry? Is it a small industry? Is it a a big construction that is going to happen in a residential? Is it a residential area or a forest fragmentation, or what kind of the environment that is going to be damaged or getting affected? So for that, design at scale. So you have to design various components for at the local levels. Biodiversity net gain. Biodiversity net gain is something like there must be a gain to the biodiversity. There should not be any loss to the biodiversity. That's what is primarily important. The fourth one is economic feasibility. Everybody, whatever we do, whether that's good or bad, we talk about the sustainability, we talk about the so many factors and all. So all that are confined to the economic feasibilities, the economics of the country, economics of the industry, economics of the person, and all that. So economic feasibility is one thing. Inclusive governance. Governance is a must now. Without the governance, you cannot run, because one simply if you say you follow this rule, nobody will follow the rule. Because if you put a fine, or if you put certain rules and regulations, strict kind of the rules and regulations, then only people will follow. If you say if you don't wear the helmet, there will be a fine, and the policeman is there to capture, and he will put a fine of 1,000 rupees, then only person will wear the helmet. Otherwise, he is not bothered about the why I have to wear the helmet. That's not his botheration. His botheration is if the policeman is there, I have to wear the helmet. That's how the inclusive governance. This is towards the environmental aspects, environmental protection I'm talking about. And the sixth one is balanced trade-offs. Balanced trade-offs is something like, it's a very important thing. Either you can cut the trees, or maybe use some of the valuable resources in the environment. Whatever the resources that we are using in the environment, that belongs to the environment. It's not ours. So we have to find certain ways so such that the balance kind of the biodiversity factors should be there. It may be cutting the trees for the paper purpose, or for construction purpose, or for any kind of the purposes that may matters. Okay, so but how does this balance trade-offs will takes place? Again, there are certain strategies that are available in the UNEP also for balanced trade-off. If you have more number of the pigeons, the forest department will tell you about no need to raid the pigeons. If there are not many birds of a certain variety, then one can ask for conservation of the birds. One can ask for conservation of various types of the ecosystems and such stuff. So there must be a balanced trade-offs. Not only for the environment, it is for every aspect that can come into the picture. Adaptive management, as I told you, management is sometimes it's not visible, sometimes it's more visible. It all depends on how you are implementing the factors. So if it is implemented, it's a functional kind of the strategies, then it's a visible kind of the management. If not, it's just the reports. Many of the projects, many of the scientific articles will be just left in the shelves, which will not give any kind of the results, or maybe a functionable kind of the factors. They are not that helpful though. Adaptive management, certain strategies at the local level one have to follow and get the things done. Mainstreaming and sustainability. Mainstreaming and sustainability is one of the important factor. Now, even if you have derived the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Developmental Goals, that are talking about the various factors for the human well-being. Mainstreaming, so environment is not a last resort. It is in the mainstream, such that the things should happen for the things should properly run towards the environmental sustainability. Okay. So next comes this how the governance of the standards through an international standard committee, if you can form. Okay, so there must be certain scientific committee. The committee will oversee the scientific oversight of the standards, research priorities, evidence base for standard revisions, and international standard committee should be there, so that such that they see the oversight and the safeguarding revision of the standards, and those things will be taken care. User groups will have the feedback loops and community of practice and such factors. National and regional hubs should be there. So you all know that, right? From the regional to the national or state level, then to the national level, and then to the international levels, the strategies will be derived, and the implementation factors also play an important role. The nature-based solutions effectively address the certain societal challenges. The most pressing societal challenges for rights holders and beneficiaries are prioritized. So that's very important, and everybody have the right to live. So everybody have the right to breathe clean air. So how they are going to get benefited, or how they can avoid the environmental impacts are important. The societal challenges addressed are clearly understood and documented. human well-being outcomes arising from the NBS. I'm talking about the nature. NBS is nothing but nature-based solutions are identified, benchmark, and periodically assessed. This is very important. It may be, it may adapt any kind of the modules, either T module or some kind of the what to wow kind of the situations where the human well-being will be of more concern, and the NBS have to be identified for every kind of the factors at the local level, and it has to be benchmarked and periodically assessed. Okay, so the some of the societal factors are something like the climate change mitigation and adaptations, disaster risk reductions, economic and social developments, human health, food security, water security, environmental degradation, and biodiversity loss. These are some of the concerns that are there with respect to the societal challenges, we can say, which can be solved under the NBS, the nature-based solutions. Nature-based solutions, one of the simple example that I wanted to give you over here is, if there is a water, there is, say, suppose there is an oxbow. So in that, the water is there. Suddenly, one animal run through, or a motorbike run through over that. So there it will become muddy. So after a while, it will be normal. So there may, if you leave it for some time. So if it depends on the amount of the water, it depends on the friction that had happened. So based on that, it will take some time, and after that, the water will be clear. So this is one simple step of nature-based solutions. Okay, so we have to find such kind of the nature-based solutions for every set of the problems at any kind of the nook and corner of this world. So once if there is a problem, we have to find a solution as per that of the nature-based solution. It should be a nature-based solution such that in the name of cleaning the environment, once again, we should not leave any of the chemicals to the environment. Once again, we should not leave any further more damage to the environment. Design of NBS is informed at the law by scale. The design of NBS recognizes and responds to the interaction between the economy, society, and ecosystems. If we give a certain strategy to the industry person, so he will manage the environment without damaging, without losing any of his profits. If he'll say you are going to get benefit because of the usage of the wastages that he is going to release the environment, so he will make use of that product. He will, like that, the strategies have to be developed. The strategies have to be derived at the local level with respect to the NBS and should be given. The design of NBS is integrated with the other complementary interventions and seek synergies across the sectors. Yeah, of course, it's not the individual basis kind of the information or the strategy. It must be synergies across the sectors. If one industry is using, similar type of the industries will be there in any of the city, and those kind of the industries can also follow the NBS strategies such that the environmental problems will be reduced. The design of the NBS incorporates risk identification and risk management beyond the intervention sites. Of course, risk identification, these are all some of the strategies or the methodologies that one can say. So the risk identification is first factor. Once we'll identify, then only we can go with the risk management. NBS results in a net gain of the biodiversity and ecosystem integrity. So I think earlier also I have mentioned about the net gain to the biodiversity. Biodiversity is a very crucial kind of a factor in the environment where the not only the human being which has to be sustained. If we start about the sustainability or SDGs for the other organisms, apart from the human being, probably we have to understand in different angles for different types of the animals and plants, so in different planes, plane of references and all that. So we are deriving some of the NBS actions for such those organisms, those kind of the plants and animals at a different plane of references, and we can serve, we can, there must be, we can conserve the biodiversity and we can maintain the ecosystem integrity. So it is something like a lion needs its own kind of the strategy for its conservation. A pigeon, if required, we can conserve it. Otherwise, no. A peacock, a peafowl may require some kind of the strategies, specific kind of the strategies for its own conservation. Like that, the biodiversity and ecosystem integrity have to be worked hand in hand. In a nature-based solution, actions have to be derived to to conserve the biodiversity. Clear and measurable biodiversity conservation outcomes. So these are all certain activities are happening now also, and how they are periodically assessed, whether the actionable kind of the points are there or not, are some of the important factors. Monitoring includes the periodic assessment, of course, that should be there. Opportunities to enhance ecosystem integrity and connectivity. If we talk about the ecosystem, environment, wildlife and all that, it is limited to people will go for excursion, see some animals in a zoo or something of that sort, and that's, they will enjoy, have some good feel and all that. That's, it is limited to that kind of the criteria for most of the population in the world. No, it's not just like that. Maybe we all, because we have a certain concern about the environment, probably we will talk about more towards the conservation and such stuff. But if you take any layman, so the layman is talking about why the environment is needed, or why the lions are required in the environment, why the other organisms are the biodiversity is required in the environment. Only just to have fun with the during the vacations? No, not like that. Everybody should have the concerns towards the environment and environmental protection. That is also involved in the NBS, one of the action plans in the NBS. I think I'll run a little faster, such that within the time we can finish. Level of ecological complexity. If we can take the level of ecosystem transformations, this is the services from the natural ecosystems, managed or restored ecosystems, creation of a novel ecosystem. So these are some of the optimization of the ecosystem services bundle, so that we can see over here for the biodiversity net gains. The relationship between ecological complexity and ecosystem service optimization and the level of engineering ecosystems. These are all very important kind of factors. And at a particular environment, at particular ecosystem, one can follow the specific kind of the NBS strategy. NBS are economically viable. Of course, they must be economically viable. Then only we can tell about the, we can convince the governance, we can convince the people, we can convince the public or any other sectors. Okay, the direct and indirect benefits. So these are some of the costs associated with the NBS have to be mentioned to the people. It has to be who is going to be the beneficiary, who is going to be the at the user or the actionable kind of the things that one have to identify and give the strategies. The cost effectiveness study is provided to support the choice of the NBS, including the likely impact of any relevant regulations and subsidies. It depends. See, it depends on different types of the governance. And so whether if you take biodiesel, suppose if you talk about, if you take the price of the biodiesel,
Dear
for 1
participants,
liter of the biodiesel,
Bye, sir.
can you please okay, for 1 liter of the production of the biodiesel, it will cost about 150 rupees, say, because the seeds, 3 kgs of seeds are required, Pongamia seeds are required, so much of the processing will take place, transportation will take place and all that. So, but the in a government is selling the diesel, the fossil fuel for 88 rupees or 90 rupees. So there is a lot of difference over there. But biodiesel is important over there. But how can the subsidies can help over there? Like that, that is one of the factors that I am taking on as an example. Like that, there are many other strategies that will be there for every component in the environment that can be that can consider the NBS NBS strategies and protect the environment. The effectiveness of NBS design is justified against the available alternative solutions. Of course, the NBS will always guide towards the available alternative solutions also, because if the plan A is not working, plan B we have to shift over this is with respect to the conservation of the environment. NBS design considers a portfolio of resourcing options such as market-based, public sector. Of course, every time we have to involve these people are these kind of the sectors, such that all compliances can be monitored, or regulatory aspects will be followed. So here comes some of the how the scale of the NBS extends beyond the jurisdictional boundaries. Mechanical are established and enable joint decision making of the stakeholders in the affected jurisdictions. So law is also there. So we have to have the feedback from the public sectors. We have to have the feedback from the different sectors who are all involved. First of all, as we all know, in EIA, the environmental impact of assessment, what we will do, the immediate surrounding people have to be addressed. We have to take the feedback and then go to the next levels, like that one of the picture that I have shown earlier. So say suppose the inclusive governance is there. So balanced trade-offs, engagement with the management and various other stuff, and one have to map with the various people, maybe the scientists, maybe the engineers, maybe the lawmakers or the administrations, and so on. Balanced trade-offs is something like benefits, costs, and risks all are there. So which is higher, which is lowest, and like that one have to think and make the NBS strategies. Adaptive management is very important, and from the adaptive management, probably more often one can save the environmental aspects, because in the adaptive management, what happens, we will say we work towards the environment. We will work towards the environmental protection. That's the main agenda, and we can adapt certain modern technologies, or we can adapt certain helpful kind of the technologies in the nature. Okay, so it may be the learn, adjust, plan, and do. So this is one of the cycle that is meant for the adaptive management. So these are all some certain information towards the nature-based solutions. So the final thing is something like nature-based solutions is something like you have to derive strategies for the at the local level based on the type of the problem, and that should not harm further harm the environment, and it should be in compliance with the various agencies like the Central Pollution, either Central Pollution Control Board or BAS standards or WHO or UNEP, however the various strategies have been made. Even the IUCN, and these are also some of the information that I have taken from the IUCN. I am one of the members in IUCN CEN. So that had helped me to prepare these slides and have interaction with you. Thank you. I hope it's little useful. It's very less information that I'm trying to give you here. And probably if we make some environmental guild or environmental concerns or the environmental team kind of the things across the country, probably we can have a very good amount of the charts and derive certain strategies based on the nature. Thank you all. If you have any questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Siraj. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you everyone for your patient hearing. I'll stop sharing now.
Okay, sir. Apurba, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for your valuable speech.
Thank you, madam.
Now, I am honored to introduce our distinguished resource person for the next session of our webinar, Dr. SUMATHRA Manokaran. Dr. Manokaran is an associate professor in the Department of Biotechnology at RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. Today, Dr. Manokaran will be sharing her valuable insights on the topic of waste management. Her expertise will shed light on effective waste management strategies, recycling techniques, and the importance of responsible waste disposal. Her knowledge will empower us to take proactive steps towards a cleaner and greener environment. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Dr. SUMATHRA Manokaran, Associate Professor in the Department of Biotechnology, RV College of Engineering, Bangalore.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, she's connecting now.
Okay.
She's madam is connecting now. I think
Okay.
some technical issue. 1 second.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Siraj, madam is not able to connect now because it has reached the maximum number of the participant. It's showing like that to the message is given like that to the
Oh,
madam.
oh,
So
okay, sir.
how that will be
Yeah,
solved?
yeah, sir. Sir, I'll
Sir,
exit.
the
Yeah.
issue we have resolved, sir. Please,
Okay.
can you
Okay.
please accept to join? Yes.
Okay. Madam will join now. Madam, I think now the issue is resolved. You can connect now. Huh? Oh, right. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, participant can introduce themselves through chat box. Dear participants, kindly introduce yourself through chat box.
Yes. Ma'am has joined. I can see. Hello, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can I start?
Yes, please, ma'am. Please.
Yeah. How much time do I have?
Ma'am, half an hour, ma'am.
Half an hour. Okay. Thank you. So, hello everyone. I would like to first share my screen. In case my voice is not audible, please do let me know. I'm sharing my screen now. Hope my screen is visible to you all.
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present on waste to value and opportunities to and challenges in this present topic. So we all know, that each one of us generate a lot of waste on a daily basis, and how much of that waste we can convert to value is something that we all have to think about. And my presentation will, actually cover on the types of waste, what exactly is waste, but I'll have to skip through few things so that I can keep my talk within 30 minutes. So as I go, Maybe few things that probably everybody will already know. I'll skip it off. So waste management is next thing that I'll be talking about. Value from waste and what are the available methods. Approach to planning and implementing a waste management program. That is the next topic that I will be discussing about. And then the technical approach, what we can do to reduce the waste in terms of research and development, how we can come up with technologies that can reduce the waste. And these technologies need not be something, that is very high-ended. It can be something that a common man can also use and implement. So I have focused only on things that can be implemented without high technical abilities. So I'll be focusing on garbage enzymes as well. So how you can make enzymes from garbage and how you can use those enzymes to, for several applications. So I'll be going through that as well. So now we all know what is waste. So anything that does not hold any value for us is what we call as waste. And we also know why we have to actually keep off waste from us, because it has got health benefits, it has got economic benefits, it has got aesthetic benefits. So in terms of health benefits, we know that the safe disposal of waste is very important, otherwise it would contaminate the environment. And through reuse and recycling of products that can be discarded as waste can also have some economic benefits, and aesthetic benefits will be very much important, because from a clean environment without unsightly rotting waste and other things that are dumped in open that we see when we travel on the road, I think that also is very important to keep the aesthetics in mind when we talk about waste to value. And there are many ways in which we can classify the waste, right? You can classify them based on the physical properties. It can be categorized into solid waste, liquid waste, and all that. And it can also be categorized on the pattern of use. So it can be classified into human waste, animal waste, farm waste, industrial waste, etc., and commercial waste, of course. And based on the source also, we can classify the waste. So now, as I told you, the waste classification depends on several factors, and it can be classified as solid, liquid, and other things. Just a minute. I'm just moving the slide a little bit. Yeah. So it can be classified as solid and liquid waste, which can also be further classified based on their biodegradability, based on their toxicity, etc. So now, I would just like to give you a statistics comparing the amount of waste, in rural areas as compared to that of the urban areas. And we know that with increasing population, we have a lot of waste that is generated on a daily basis. And the quantity of waste generated is increasing in rural areas as a result of increased population, consumerism, commercial activities, and so many different things. So it is actually estimated that about 15,000 to 18,000 million liters of grey water is generated per day, and 0.3 to 0.4 million metric ton of solid waste is generated per day. According to UNICEF, this is. And although the quantity of waste generated is increasing, it is relatively low in rural areas compared to that of the urban areas. So now, given the smaller size and relatively stronger community link in rural settings, initiatives for solid liquid waste management may be relatively easier to implement in the rural areas compared with that of the urban areas. Now, in rural areas, the other advantage is compared to that of the urban one, the land availability is not often a big constraint. Also, there are more possible, more options that are possible in the rural areas for reuse of waste, such as composting of biodegradable material, which can be used in kitchen gardens, agricultural fields, and so on. So now, it is often said that waste can be wealth if it is managed properly, right? So is this really true? We all know, I think by now, to some extent, it is definitely true. Whether it makes economic sense, yes, in some cases it does make economic sense. Whether we can have technological interventions, yes, we can have technological interventions when there is, financial feasibility in that. So now we all have heard about this creating wealth from waste, right? So what are the different methods that are currently available? So I'm only talking about the methods that are very, very generally used in rural areas as well. So both the waste, solid waste and the liquid waste, if managed properly, can be a resource to generate income and livelihood. So, however, the cost of processing the waste to recover its value must also be kept in mind, as I told. Economic feasibility is very important when computing all the benefits that we get from this. So, some examples of reuse of waste are listed over here. So I don't want to go all of these in detail, but you can just, see that these are very basic things that can be done. Compost from animal farm and kitchen waste, you can use it for manure. It can be sold. Black wastewater, organic solid waste can be treated to generate biogas and so on. So since I would like to focus mostly on solid waste management, because even garbage enzymes are usually done with the solid waste. So I'm just going to go through what are the methods that are there in solid waste management. So now when we come to solid waste management, first step is the collection of the waste, followed by segregation, transportation, processing, and disposal. And collection has to be done from each facility if it is a community, or from door to door, or it can be a community-based collection. Then after that, it has to be segregated, it has to be transported, and while transporting, the point of collection to the point of processing is very important. The cost estimate also has to be taken into account for this, and waste must be transported under covered conditions so that there's no littering. All these things have to be taken care. But I would like to quickly move to a little bit more of statistics to just give you a perspective as to why this is very important, and why individual households and individual, in all the individuals need to take care of this. So now the domestic waste that is generated, in rural households of India is increasingly becoming very, very serious concern. And though the solid waste generated is predominantly organic and biodegradable, it is becoming a major problem as a waste generated is not segregated where it is generated, right? So that actually creates a lot of problem. And because of, not segregating the waste, we are not able to process the waste properly. So now, why does this waste get generated so much, right? There is certain things that we can control. And when we compare the food loss versus the food waste, I would just like to give you some statistics over here. So now we need to understand the difference between the food loss and the food waste. So food loss refers typically to the food lost in the earlier stages of production, such as during harvest, storage, and transportation, and food is lost because of various reasons. One could be the fact that the fruits and vegetables produced that simply isn't pretty enough to the retailers, or because of high aesthetic standards, they never make it to the truck. And food is lost in low-income countries when harvesting technology isn't up to the par, and damages the produce and isn't able to yield a decent harvest. Food is also lost after harvest in handling, storage, processing, and transport. So these are the ways in which food gets, there's a food loss that's happening. Food waste, on the other hand, refers to the items that are fit for human consumption, but thrown away by us. So now the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations reported that around 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted every day globally. And this report also states that 1/3 of the total global food production is wasted, costing the world economy of about 750 billion. And or you can consider that in Indian value, 47 lakh crore. So now to put this in perspective, this is sufficient enough to feed all the estimated 850 million hungry people in the entire world. So now an eye-opening revelation has also been made by a report cited in the CSR journal. It says that Indians waste as much food as the whole United Kingdom consumes. So in a nation like India, where millions of people still sleep hungry on streets, it is just not at all a good statistic. So now all the social functions, social joins in India, for instance, weddings, canteens, hotels, social and family functions also waste a lot of food. And according to the report in the journal, about 40% of the food production in India is bound to get wasted. And about 21 millions of India's entire wheat produce is also wasted, and 50% of all the food across the world meets the same fate. Now, this alarming increase in food wastage is generating about 3.3 billion tons of greenhouse gas emissions, thereby severely impacting the environment. And a recent study conducted by IIM Kolkata revealed that only 10% of the food gets cold storage facility in India. And this factor, accompanied by inappropriate supply chain management, has resulted in India becoming a significant contributor towards food wastage, both at pre-harvest levels and at the post-harvest levels. And India ranks 63rd among 88 countries in Global Hunger Index. And, with 20 crore Indians sleeping hungry on any given night, this is not at all a good statistic again. But in spite of this, nearly 21 millions of wheat is also wasted. So you can just imagine how much of food we are wasting on a daily basis. So apart from the wastage of the food produced, the resources such as land, water, it is just not the food, right? So all the resources that are involved in making this food, like, the resources like land, water, energy, the labor that is lost in the form of inputs during the food production should also be considered. So now, for instance, 25% of the fresh water used to produce food is also ultimately wasted, even as millions of people still do not have access to good drinking water. So now, this is to just give you a perspective as to how much waste is happening. So now, how do we manage the solid waste in rural areas, especially because we have majority of rural population? And what is the institutional setup that is available as of now? So now, this is the institutional setup that we have right now. So the national government is the one that provides, through Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, provides guidelines and financing to the districts to implement the waste management. It monitors the progress. It awards also for the panchayats that does a good job. And then state government, through Public Health Engineering Department, provides strategy. It gives hardware funding, support to districts for implementation, capacity building, communication, monitoring, and all that happens. Then it comes to the district level, which is headed by the collector or chief executive officer. It has various departments such as rural water supply, education, health, and so on. And then it goes to the sub-district level, and then to the Gram Panchayat, and then to the village. So now this Gram Panchayat is the one that is responsible for involving the community in planning, in implementation, and everything. So now, what are the principles that you have to adopt when designing an approach, right? So that is very, very important. So unless we involve the community and make them feel responsible for it, things are not going to happen. The government alone is not going to be able to take care. So community participation and ownership is very important. Capacity building at a local level is next thing. And promotion of variety of technologies that are user-friendly and affordable. So we have to here really think about technologies and techniques that a layman can also use. So that is to be very, very important. And promotion of effective waste management principles should be there. Segregation should be happening at the source, not at the point where the management happens. And involvement of community-based groups, for example, like youth clubs and self-help groups, All these are very important. Recycling, all these things need to be taken care. Now, it is very important to involve community, and there are several examples I have in my PowerPoint, but due to the time constraints, I don't think I'll be able to go all of them together. But I would just like to give you, there are 2 or 3 that I have put up in the slide, but I'll go through at least one in detail. So now, what principles should be adopted when designing an approach to the solid waste management is what we had just now seen. So now I'll just give you an example of how Chunakara Panchayat in Alapura district has involved the community and helped in waste management practices. So now, first, when the government involves, the Gram Panchayat people get involved with the people, because community participation is an important thing that I had just now told. So now, why conventional information like education, communication, which we call as IEC programs, are they really effective? What is the government's perspective on that? So now countries often develop plans to educate people on various topics like health, hygiene, safety, etc. And what they do is they post, they'll give posters, flyers, leaflets, brochures, and all these things. Now, these initiatives are usually referred to as information, education, and communication. Now, to convince people to adopt safety and waste management practices, government conducts the IEC programs. However, these programs are not as effective as it should be. And the reasons why the programs are not very effective is, if people are better educated or informed, they will be, because we think that if people are well educated or well informed, they will change their behavior. And messages are determined by external experts who are assumed to know better, and therefore they may not be relevant to the community per se that is in question. And the messages that tend to focus on teaching people about the health risks and diseases linked to poor waste management, rather than focusing on people's priorities, such as the inconvenience caused by choked drains and other things. Now, methods used to communicate, to tell people what to do. Say, for example, here in this picture, you can see that they are giving the brochures, but then the person may not even know how to read, right? And then, they have a campaign, and then, you don't have an audience to listen to what you're saying. So it is very important to have participatory, involvement in all these things. So now, what is participatory approach, right? So you have to give programs in terms of dramas, in terms of stories, where people can, relate to themselves, and then, realize why it is important, and then helps everyone else also to participate in the program. So now participatory tools help to encourage everyone to participate, and if facilitated well, can be more interesting than a mere lecture or a discussion. And also it helps to gain insights into current practices and potential triggers for change in a relatively shorter time. And field experience also has shown that community workers find participatory methods more rewarding. Now, this is the difference between conventional IEC programs and the participatory approach. And you can just see that the conventional programs assumes that if people are educated or informed, they'll change their behavior. They seek to find out what people cause. In participatory approach, they actually find out what causes people to change their behavior. Whereas here, they have a predetermined set of core messages. The messages are not dynamically changed based on the needs. They have a preset thing, and they just give to all the communities, irrespective of what the community requirements are. And here, they seek to innovate to establish core messages driven by local factors. And in conventional IEC, they have a predetermined approach of who will do what will have to be done and all these things. Whereas in participatory approach, there's a lot of freedom as to who does what in each particular context. Now, what factors contribute to this? An extensive study of all these have actually determined that you have to have a rapport building with the people. So even before starting a program, you need to understand the situation. You have to have an environmental walk. You have to do a waste calculation of medical expenses, and so many other things. And an extensive study of hygiene and sanitation projects have identified these factors, convenience, understanding, prestige, and approval, as very important factors in the waste management. So I'm not going to go through this also in detail, but just to give you a gist, when you ask people to do something on their own, you have to make sure that they understand why it needs to be done. You have to make sure that the way you're asking them to do should be convenient, and they have to feel that, that it is their responsibility, and also some rewards for compliance or fines for non-compliance should be given. And technology and rural development, it helps people to choose an option that is most acceptable to them. So why you need to give a wide range of options is to make people analyze and choose what is better for them. And if people are informed and educated on various technological options, it helps in the selection of technology with highest degree of usability and sustainability, and starting with relatively simple and affordable option will help them to understand what can be done. So now when it comes to solid waste management, these are the things that we all know: composting, vermicomposting. Composting can be done at a individual household level. Recycling to some extent can be done. Reuse can be done by everybody. So these are the things that we need to, they're not big technologies, but they are technologies that can be used by laymen as well. And some factors that has to be considered when we talk about technology option include characteristics of the waste being generated, and quantity and frequency of the waste generation, availability, affordability of technology options, applicability of the technology in the area, availability of the skilled personnel, energy, land requirements, all that has to be taken care. So I will just give you one example of a classic case that is applied in Kurudampalayam Panchayat in Tamil Nadu. Actually, this particular village had come up with simple techniques, that has made this village zero waste producing village in the Tamil Nadu. So this village has got about 14 wards with a population of 33,000. And that makes into 11,360 households. The amount of waste generated by them is 800 kilograms per day, as per the statistics. And the practice that existed before the introduction of the solid waste management in this particular village was discarding domestic waste refuse in just open drains and in street corners. But for the past 7 to 8 years, there is a big revolution that has happened, and they have started viewing waste as a resource, and they have converted most of the waste, almost all the waste, into some resource. So now Kurudampalayam village forbids the use of solid waste management and it has replaced it with solid resource management. So what basically they do is they give community education, they provide the dustbins, collection happens, segregation at a primary, secondary, and tertiary level happens. They treat it, they keep it for recycling, and whatever can be recycled, they send it for recycling, and then after sale, some of the recycled products can also be sold. So I'm not going to go through this in detail, but instead what I would like to introduce you with is something called as garbage enzymes. So now we all know what enzymes are, right? So enzymes are biological catalysts, which helps in speeding up the rate of the reactions. So now this is one simple technique that most of us can do at home. And what basically we'll have to do is we have to collect the waste that comes from the fruits. And there is a simple protocol that needs to be followed. And you can produce a solution which can be used as a cleansing agent. So you can use it for dishwashing, you can use it for wiping the floors, you can use it in the commodes. And this garbage enzymes also has been used in treating solid waste, municipal waste. And further, that waste can be treated for biodiesel generation and so on. So now garbage enzymes as such, as I had told you, it is not all the garbage. Basically, so far, what has been tried is from the fruit waste. It can also be used with some leaves, waste leaves, and also from the waste flowers. So now they are produced through a simple fermentation process that utilizes kitchen waste, such as fruit peels, vegetable scraps, and other organic materials. And this process converts waste into a powerful and versatile enzyme-based liquid that has a wide range of applications. And what happens is these enzymes contain beneficial microorganisms, and the enzymes that break down the organic matter make them excellent cleansing agents. Now, by diverting organic waste from landfills, it helps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and the environmental impact of waste disposal. And over the last couple of decades, the garbage enzyme industry has been in the eyes of many researchers. We in our college at RVCA also has done some research on these garbage enzymes, and we have produced an excellent product. I'll show you a very quick video at the end of this presentation as to how effective these enzymes are. And all you have to do is to just ferment vegetable waste with certain compositions of other ingredients. And then, after a month or 2 or 3 months, we just need to filter it and use it as a cleansing agent. So now the research gap here focuses mainly on the lack of comparative studies and access to the data towards green synthesis of the garbage enzymes. And it also focuses on lack of validation of effects of additional factors such as neem and tulsi. We all know that these are antimicrobial in nature. So if we can use them along with the vegetable waste or the fruit waste, then they become much more efficient. And so far, we don't have a very extensive comparative study on different parameters and samples that can be used as a contributor of the research gap. So what we have done is we have used several fruits. You can see over here. So we have used individual pineapple plus tulsi, pomegranate, and then with different combinations we have tried. And we have analyzed the enzymatic activities after a month, 2 months, and 3 months. So now we have found that, all these have got, the 3 major enzymes that will be focused over here is amylase, protease, and lipase. These are the major enzymes that can degrade carbohydrates. Amylase will degrade carbohydrates, lipase for lipids, and protease for all the proteins and peptides. So we have found, that these enzymes are present in good amounts in these garbage enzymes. And then you can see the lipase activity for Mosambি. There's when we used the waste from Mosambì, the lipase activity is more. And you can also see how the lipase activity is with other fruits. So there's a lot of, enzymes that's been produced when you ferment the fruit waste. Protease activity is also compared over here for different combinations of fruit waste. So what we have, and they also have antimicrobial activity, which is why they can be used as cleansers. So now these garbage enzymes have got a lot of potential to be used as environmental cleansers. They can also be used to reduce sludge in gutters. So we are exploring more and more about the efficacy of these enzymes, but we have to generate more and more data to understand the composition of the compounds that are present in the garbage enzymes, and we need to have further research to, validate its efficacy. So I'll just conclude over here that it is very important that we need to use the waste that we generate at a household level to see how we can generate into wealth. And garbage enzyme right now, what I told you is very, very simple, and everybody can do it at their home itself. And it has got a lot of applications as well. So I'll just show you a very small video. So these are the way forwards. How do we reduce? And, everybody has to be conscious, and we all have to join hands with each other so that we can make India a truly sustainable country. And that will happen only, if everybody works together. So before I sign off, I will just show you the video to just 1 second. Yeah, so I hope the video is visible to everyone. So you can see using the garbage enzymes, you can see over here from the difference between this, and all this requires not too much of rubbing or anything. It just requires a simple spray and wipe. And this can be done with just, the fruit waste that we have at home. So these are our major projects till next. So what we had just now seen is pomegranate-based garbage enzyme. So we found that to be highly effective in cleaning, and we had compared it with the least effective. The least effective in the sense, the one that had less enzymes, tomato-based garbage enzyme. Even that did a very decent job compared to that of the pomegranate. And this was just done with just 3 ingredients. You just need to have your fruit waste. You need to have jaggery. You need to have a little bit yeast and water, and you just ferment it, and at the end of fermentation you filter it and you can use it. It's ready to go. So thank you everybody for the patient listening.
Thank you, ma'am. The session was so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable speech and the informative video. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Sirajuddin Sir, Director of Highland Edutech Institute, to deliver the vote of thanks. Dr. Sirajuddin Sir is a distinguished educationist and has been instrumental in promoting quality education and fostering environmental awareness among students and professionals alike. With his leadership, Highland Edutech Institute has been at the forefront of organizing events and webinars that create a positive impact on society. His dedication to environmental education and sustainable practices has played a significant role in raising awareness and inspiring actions in the field of environmental protection. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Sirajuddin Sir, Director of Highland Edutech Institute, as he delivers the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, madam. On behalf of Highland Edutech Institute, Karnataka, on behalf of Friends of Environment, and on behalf of participants, let me thank our resource persons, Dr. MANJUNATha Reddy sir and Dr. SUMATHRA MANOKARAN madam for their very informative and wonderful sessions. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, madam.
Hello.
At the same time,
Yeah.
so at the same time,
you can continue, sir.
at the same time, on behalf of Highland Edutech Institute, Karnataka, on behalf of Friends of Environment, And on behalf of both participants, let me thank all participants for their active participation. Thank you very much, participants.
Yeah, one question, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
To whom? To whom it will be?
To both of the presenters, sir.
Fine, fine. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, this is Dr. Ravi Kumar, head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering from Siddhartha Institute of Technology and Sciences, Hyderabad, Telangana. Yeah, initially, I was very, say, not confirm that this environmental impact EIA, how it will be helpful for the mechanical engineers, how it will be useful for a mechanical engineer. But this is not a departmental specific or may not be a branch specific. The EIA is concerned to all the people on the earth who are living. We have to take care of the nature mother. So it is every individual responsibility, so that we have to give the best nature to the forthcoming generations. Sadly, that we couldn't able to do that in the past years. At least we have to get right now and take the steps accordingly to see that our future will be bright. Sorry, madam, I couldn't able to see you during your presentation. Your video was off, and I'm very much thankful for both the institutions which have been participated, both the professors from RV Institute, Bangalore, RV Institute, RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. What is my question is to both of the presenters, how we can able to contribute to the society where we are living, whether it may be under rural areas or maybe under urban areas, and why can't we put a hand and go ahead for the protecting the nature? What initiatives that we have to take it right now?
I think that's what we were focusing on during the presentation as well. As I told you, a very simple step that you can do is to reduce the waste in terms of food, in terms of, all the things that we use, so many plastic bags we buy. I mean, you can just go on and on and on and say that, if we really step back, think for a moment, there are a lot of ways. From the time we wake up till the time we go to bed, if we really analyze what we do on a daily basis, there is a lot of waste we generate. So simply from wasting papers, throwing notebooks with all unused pages, that is, that happens at a household level to the institutional levels. We use a lot of answer booklets. There are a lot of pages that we don't, that students don't write, and we still, tie it up together and dispose it off.
The management will sold it for 12 rupees per kg, ma'am. They are not wasting it, but they are not using it in a proper way.
Right. So the one way that you can think of is the unused pages, if we can bind it together and give it to students who are in need, economically challenged students. I think, it will be of some use instead of giving it where the pages are not unused. Rather, and then you can think about the amount of food that we waste on a daily basis, segregation of waste at the individual level. So all these things, small things actually can make a very bigger change.
Yeah. So what I am expecting is from this group, around 100 people have been there, participated in this webinar. Yeah. So if you make a group of all these intellectuals, so because most of them doesn't know the procedures or maybe the protocols, how to go through this, it might be helpful for a group to start it from the scratch at their societal levels.
Yes, definitely we can think in those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, this is professor from Mechanical Engineering Department. So you both the presenters are biotechnology, I think, biotechnology department. So we need some certain input so that we make the students the awareness among the students to keep up the nature intact.
Sure, sir. We can definitely have an interaction with the students as well if required. And we can come up with small ways. What I'm saying is we don't need big technological interventions. We just need little more conscious thinking from our side to see how we can reduce things.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, ma'am. How can we be in contact with you? We need your phone number or maybe the WhatsApp number or maybe the mail ID.
You can collect it from the organizers, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you for your answer, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, over to you, Apurba.
Okay, sir, you please continue, sir.
Apurba sir, over to you.
Yes. Yeah, okay. With permission with all the resource person, so we would like to conclude today's session. So I would like to request Pinki Biswas, today's session coordinator, to conclude this session. Pinki?
Yes, Dada.
Yes, please conclude the session.
With the conclusion of our webinar session on environmental protection and waste management, we come to the end of this enlightening and engaging event. Today, we have had the privilege of hearing from esteemed speakers who have shared their knowledge, experiences, and insights on these crucial topics. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants who joined us from different parts of the world. Your active engagement, thought-provoking questions, and enthusiasm have made this webinar truly special. Your commitment to environmental protection and waste management is commendable, and I encourage you to continue advocating for sustainable practices in your respective communities. I would also like to extend my deepest appreciation to our organizing partners, Highland Edutech Institute and Friends of Environment, for their tireless efforts in making this webinar a resounding success. Their dedication to promoting environmental awareness and conserving is truly inspiring, and we are grateful for their valuable contributions. A special thank you goes to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Apurba Koley, founder and secretary of Friends of Environment, and Dr. A.H. MANJUNATHA Reddy, Associate Professor at RV College of Engineering, Bangalore, and Dr. SUMATHRA MANOKARAN, Associate Professor at RV College of Engineering, Bangalore. Your expertise, passion, and insights have provided us with invaluable knowledge and actionable steps towards protecting our environment and managing waste effectively. Last but not the least, I extend my gratitude to all the technical and support staff who have worked diligently behind the scenes to ensure the smooth execution of this webinar. Your contribution have been instrumental in creating a seamless and enriching experience for all participants. As we conclude this session, let us remember that the journey towards environmental protection and waste management does not end here. It is a lifelong commitment that requires collective effort and individual responsibility. Let us take the lessons learned today and translate them into tangible actions in our daily lives. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can build a greener, more sustainable future for ourselves and generations to come. Thank you once again for your active participation and for being part of this important event. Let us continue our effort to protect and preserve our environment every day in every possible way. Wishing you all a prosperous and sustainable future. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Pinki. to all the participants and our eminent resources. Should we close the session?
Yes, Apurba sir. There is one announcement. Apurba sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah. Within 24 hours,
Yes, sir. Please
the
continue.
participants will get their e-certificates in delegates WhatsApp group. Dear participants, within 24 hours, participants will get their e-certificates in delegates WhatsApp group. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Apurba sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.